wasn't long ago when the left kept telling us to, quote, follow the science. Remember all the signs in the yards? But watch what happened when GOP presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy broke down the science surrounding gender and surgeries for kids in a heated discussion with NBC's Chuck Todd.
Below the age of 18, I think it's perfectly legitimate to say that we won't allow genital mutilation or chemical castration through puberty blockers for the purpose of gender transition.
But how do you know it's that? Again, how do you know, are you confident that you know that gender is as binary as you're describing it? Are you confident that it isn't a spectrum?
I am.
Do you know this as a scientist?
Well, there's two X chromosomes if you're a woman, an X and a Y. That means you're a man.
There's a lot of scientific research out there.
There's
a lot of scientific research out there that says gender is a spectrum.
Chuck, I respectfully disagree. We've created a culture that teaches parents that they're being bigoted or that they're bad people if they don't actually take those steps. So part of what I think is, listen, gender dysphoria, for the rare few people who have suffered it, is a condition of suffering. My question is, why on earth are we going out of our way to create even more of it?
What was so illustrative about that conversation to me, Kaylee, is the precision with which Vivek speaks. The thoughtfulness, the detail. It is clear that he is prepared and thoughtful and has done his research and has this articulable point and point of view that should be respected, if just for those tenets. And yet, for some reason, the left, as represented by Chuck Todd, seems to want to throw a spear in exactly one finite point. It's really fascinating to me.
So true, especially when you talk about Vivek and having precision. You know, he said pretty bluntly, you get two X chromosomes or you get an X and a Y. Like, we all learn this in science. This is not news. It's not new. And it used to be, we love the science. All hail the science. Do not question the science until the science is not woke enough. Then all of a sudden, the science goes out the window. The left needs to tread carefully on this because our own Fox News polling showed that on issues women's sports, transgender individuals in women's sports, 81% said it was either a major or a minor problem. About overly accommodating transgender policies in schools, 74% said it was either a major or a minor problem. So this is one of these wedge issues people recognize basic common sense on, and the left should tread carefully on it.
And it's interesting, in light of that, Harris, remember Leah Thomas, whose comments were essentially, you cannot support me a little bit or say you support me without supporting me wholly, meaning my participation in biological women's sports. So given it's a wedge issue, that left has also drawn quite a line that says you're either with us fully or you're completely against us.
Well, and I'm not even sure what that means yet, because it's all in transition and it's still moving, and we're supposed to be able to keep up with a moving train and know how someone identifies and how they want us to call them and so on and so forth. It's legitimate to say that we are learning and we are trying to keep up. It's also legitimate to say that we can't keep up right now, because the science says one thing or two things or three things, and people are telling us something quite different. People are telling us what they wish it would say, which is why we say transgender women. I mean, Jason Rantz, I've talked about this and quoted him many, many times, member of the LGBT plus community, has said, if an actual woman is equal to a transgender woman, why do we call her trans? Why do we do that? Because they're not the same. And we know that if we try to transgender, if we try to go from female to male and play in sports by taking testosterone, we're not allowed to do that. That's a hormone use that we're not allowed to take. So we're not having a real good apples to apples conversation right now. And you almost said it, you didn't mean to. You said silence instead of science. You're right. They want us to be silent about all of our questions, about our misunderstanding. We misunderstand a lot of things in life. We aren't allowed to talk about them, because if we can't do that, we're never going to accept any of it as a country.
Often this issue gets couched as a fairness issue with sports. It's not. This is about the truth. We're in a fight for the truth as a country right now. And the truth is there's two genders. It's male or female. That's it. That's all there is. This is basic biology. And it's a test of submission for the left, because if they can get people to accept demonstrable lies, deny basic biology, they can get you to submit to anything. They own you. Society is now under their control. So that's what we are in right now, is a fight over the truth. And to your point, they try to silence you if you raise questions, if you speak the truth. That's what they want. They want you to fear speaking out, fear for your job, fear for societal approval. And then even beyond that, they want you to fear them. I mean, you look what happened to Riley Gaines, to be assaulted on a college campus for daring to speak the truth.
Have you seen the videos?
Yeah, so they want us to live in fear. And the only way through this as a country is to not fear them, to not submit, Speak the truth, speak out, resist.
And when gender is a spectrum, that it means then you can have a whole host of language in there that can be extremely vague, extremely undefinable, right? Again, the precision is lost, which means anything you say will be used against you. And what are your thoughts
100%.
on this?
I can't believe you are even arguing about this topic. You know, while China is taking over the world, we're talking about if we have more than 2 genders or not. You know, I mean, God created men and women. That's it. You know, and you know, I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Riley. She just mentioned.
Awesome.
She is one brave person, unbelievable. You know, she was at the actual White House correspondent dinner. We had a conversation with her. I was like,
so were you,
keep
though.
doing what you're doing. Yes, I was like, keep doing what you're doing. University of Kentucky. You know. Shout out to all the Wildcats.
I went to Tennessee, so I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Wow, you was our biggest rivalry.
Well, I volunteer to be on your side.
I
went to UC Santa Barbara, and no one's on my side.
Thank you, Harris. I really appreciate
The
that.
lovable gal.
Doesn't always happen, but to have people on your side, but it feels good.
Did you get it, volunteer?
Thank you, Harris.
All right, guys. Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.